Premier Doug Ford has slapped a 25% tax on electricity shipped from Ontario to the U.S. in response to President Donald Trump's tariff plan. Ford says starting today, 1.5 million Americans will now be paying more for electricity. But one expert says this move may not be very effective.
We're moving forward with a 25% surcharge on electricity exports.
Ontario estimates that this surcharge, which came into effect today, will generate anywhere from $300,000 to $400,000 in revenue for the province each day. It means the average American living in Minnesota, New York, and Michigan will pay about 69 American dollars more on their electricity bills per month.
I will not hesitate to increase this charge. If necessary, if the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely.
This is the latest retaliatory measure Ontario is using to fight back against tariffs imposed on Canadian goods by President Trump. But according to an expert in the field, Ontario is not in the best position to make these kinds of moves.
Ontario is not a significant supplier of electricity to the United States. And we do not have firm supply contracts like Quebec or Manitoba or BC. So our relationship with the U.S. is entirely transactional.
Professor Mark Winfield says Ontario produces more electricity than it needs and sometimes offloads it to the U.S. basically for free, as it's easier to do that than to shut down operations here in the province.
So we end up actually effectively dumping electricity into the United States. In fact, at times, we have actually offered electricity at a negative price. The consumers in Michigan and wherever in New York will easily find cheaper electricity in those markets.
Energy Minister Stephen Lecce says if Minnesota, New York, and Michigan don't need Ontario's excess power on any particular day, which sometimes happens, the tariffs will still have an impact because those states will then try to sell the power to other states.
They then try to resell and upsell our power. So this is going to have, the Premier says we sell power all the way down to the U.S. All of the states, all along the I-95, they can feel the pain too.
Ford says once this tariff war is over, he hopes to sell even more power to the U.S. and appeared on CNN this afternoon.
It's one person that's caused this problem, and that's President Trump.